we are continuing our journey among the snowfields of England. And you know what, Becky? I love 40mm focal distance. And luckily, Voigtlander just released 40mm, but not just regular 40mm, it's f1.2.
Ooh.
Nice and light. Let's check it out. I already bought this lens basically in my mind, but let's do that. Let's just find out if it's good or not.
Let's just verify your already predetermined conclusion.
You know what? This channel makes me really poor.
It does.
Did I already tell you, Becky, that I like this lens?
I kind of got that impression, yeah. Tell me why you like this lens.
There's one thing what I find with the modern lenses, you take the shots, they're nice and sharp, and that's pretty much it. With something like this, you take the shot and you feel the magic right there. You're absolutely right, you're not going to shoot this lens, let's say, at f8, f11, it loses magic, but wide open, 1.2, maybe up to f2, it just gives you this beautiful, not perfect optically result, but the rendering is just outstanding. And all you need to do when you're taking shots like this, you basically want to play with your background or foreground, because you either want to blow one or another, and you want to get this effect in the shot. Yes, you get the vignetting, but again, it's a part of that, and it's just part of that mood. So we basically throwing away the optical performance is good enough, and we add the ambience and mood to the image. So what are you doing, Becky?
I am actually doing a little depth of field test. So I just want to see at the closest focusing distance, which is 30 centimeters, what the difference is when I shoot between 1.2, 1.4, let's go to 2.8. All right, let's try f4. It's really teetering on the edge of being in focus. Okay, and then let's just do one at f8. So you can all see what the rendering looks like. This is what you do when you don't have a tripod.
A life hack.
That's right, life hack for you all. Just gonna double check that I'm still in focus, because the depth of field, it does focus breathe a bit. So the depth of field does shift. Wow, you can see the individual snowflake patterns. They're like little diamonds. How interesting. And very cute. So I'm just going to try different apertures and see. Yeah, from a practical point of view, I don't actually know what aperture I would shoot it at. F2 seems to be a happy medium where you've still got that nice blurred bokeh background, but where the subject itself is sharp. At 1.2, you're not looking for sharpness. You're very much looking for the dream effect. And when you're shooting at subjects a bit further away, they are going to look sharper because you get that, you know, less compressed depth of field.
Oh, whoa, Becky, the message just came in from our viewers. Can you photograph flowers with it?
Yeah. Frozen flowers, just for you. I'll do some frozen leaves.
How usable is it for close-up?
Yeah, it's pretty usable. You know me, I like to shoot everything at the closest focusing distance. and see what it does. It's quite abstract, actually. That's interesting. Whew. I can't feel my toes.
The reason why this lens gives quite an incredible 3D pop, in my opinion, is because the vignetting at 1.2 is quite severe. Now, it's not very dark, it just goes almost to the middle of the frame, and that's why the center of the frame becomes quite elevated and nice and bright, and then you get this fall off towards the corners. Now, vignetting disappears at about f4. Before that, it becomes slightly brighter, etc., etc. Again, all this is correctable, but I think vignetting is the part why it makes this lens so special. Okay, Becky, final verdict. Is it the lens for you?
No, but I know it's the lens for you. 40mm is an interesting focal length. For me, it's not quite wide enough. I'm very much a 35 and 28 user. That's why I've got those two lenses. I do really like the rendering on it though. I think it's probably a lens which, if you're a professional photographer, you're not gonna make it your first choice. You'd probably have some good staple lenses, some good Z lenses, which are very, very sharp, wide open. That's what Z lenses are good for. But if you want something a bit more characterful for your close-ups or for a bit of street photography, you said, then this makes sense.
Yeah, it is a character lens. You've got 42.8 from Nikon, which is very inexpensive, and it's fantastic because it's small and light, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Now, this one is more money. It's a little bit bigger while still being light. I would say, as you say, it's a modern rendering versus vintage. If you want your lens to have a character, then you may want to go for one of those. I would use this lens primarily between 1.2 and f2 because that's where you get the most rendering. After that, it becomes more or less modern and will perform as every other lenses. But that 3D pop that it gives you wide open, while it's not incredibly sharp, you almost get like, I don't know if it's a barrel distortion, but you get kind of this subject in the middle almost being kind of brought forward to the subject, and everything starts to fall off at the back. And that's something you don't get with normal lenses. And that's why for me, I do like character lenses nowadays. If you do professional work, yes, you're going to go for Holy Trinity with Nikon. You get the horses that are going to work for you, you know, the proven horses. What is it?
The workhorse.
Yeah, you're going to get the workhorses that are going to do a real job. This is a side lens. This is something for special effect lens. Just get that. It will do that for you. It will scratch that in.
The reason why we didn't compare it with the 40mm f2 muffin lens, which is an autofocus lens for the Z lineup by Nikon, is because 40mm is where the similarities end, really, with these two. However, if you would like us to compare those two, drop it in the comments below.
And give us the usual, the like and subscribe. If you find this video super useful, there's super thanks button as well. And we'll see you in a field somewhere else one day.
I always cut these bits out because they're so ridiculous. You find the picture?
I think so.
You got it?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah!
Yeah, it's all right. I think at some point we're just gonna release a DVD, aka Blu-ray collection. It's just Becky and flowers.
Just me squatting.
It's 5 hours long.
Deluxe special.
Exactly. With a full-size cutout of Becky.
Squatting.